Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel, The Journey Back to Ro. Today we're going to get into a reading for the Divine Feminine and how these Mercury retrogrades are affecting her in combination with the full moon in Taurus that we just experienced. And I can say already that this energy I feel very disconnected and distant. For instance, I was connecting with a soulmate, someone that I had a lot in common with, and all of a sudden I just couldn't bear to even be touched by this person in any way. It'd be just like a gentle shoulder touch or something, and I'd just be extremely annoyed. Or when this person's confessing how they feel, I'd be annoyed by that. I'd feel annoyed by that, and because it's like my soul telling me, or not wanting to be on board with what my ego is wanting to be on board with almost. It's like my soul is like, no more. Like, you can't force this to be what it's not. This is not what we intended for you. I mean, of course, meeting this person and having certain experiences with this person was to serve something on my own spiritual journey and for that person as well. But there were no sparks there. There was no romantic connection on my end. And so when this person began to confess their feelings after having experienced this energy with the Mercury retrograde, I'm being more aligned with doing things that are in alignment with my heart and my intuition. It just felt wrong. And so I was annoyed by it. Also because if I don't feel that way, it places me in an awkward position. You know what I mean? And just being annoyed by that. Even outside of that, I had an ex not text me, but I was talking to him on the phone and he said he missed me, and I'm automatically in a guarded mode. Same feelings of annoyance, you know, like, why are you telling me this? I don't want to hear things like that right now. Especially from you, you know what I mean? And I do feel like this is some frustration trickling down from what the Divine Masculine is going through right now, trying to separate himself from certain people. On top of this, just this Hanged Man energy being so prevalent right now, hanging ourselves up in an upside down position in order to gain a new perspective of things. And it's kind of annoying when you have different energies trying to intrude in on that, and kind of it's kind of disrupting for what's going on internally. Like, I have so many energies coming in and so many messages being channeled, and it feels like those things are disruptions to that almost. And then, you know, when I first started connecting with the soulmate, it was at a time when I was letting go of my twin flame. I was getting a lot of negative revelations about the connection and about this person. And I realized that those negative or perceived negative things that I was reflecting on were for good reason, and it served to get me out of this place of illusion, you know, perceiving something to be perfect when it was perfect. You know, everything is perfect because it's happening in divine alignment. You know what I mean? There's no good or bad you can attach to it. But realizing that in certain situations I was making myself smaller or accepting certain things that I wouldn't accept from other people. You're just realizing that this person they're still operating, or they were operating in karmic energy, though they were perceivably better than a previous connection, or something like a connection that was karmic in nature. So being that it seemed a lot better than a karmic experience that I experienced, I put a lot of fluff onto that connection, And so the divine came in and played a movie in my mind of everything that was not right in that connection and with that person. And it served to balance things out. So I'm not too way up there, but I'm also not way down there. Now there's a balance. And so now I'm neutral with how I perceive the connection. If my divine masculine comes back as an evolved being and he's still able to express love and show love, I would definitely be open to that connection. So on one hand, I'm not super on the low end, where I'm only perceiving the negative. And I'm not on the high end where I'm adding fluff and making it seem like something it's not, like some sort of fairy tale, and then chasing this person, or whether physically or energetically, and making myself stuck. So I'm neither one of those things. I'm in the middle. I'm living my life. I've completely surrendered all possibilities and outcomes to the divine, and I'm only doing what I'm led to do by my heart. And my heart tells me to leave space for this person, to hold space for this person. And the reason why I'm feeling called to do this, my intuition is telling me that this person is undergoing a major transformation right now, an awakening. Okay. And so the way they're perceiving the world and themselves is changing. So the way they're going to relate to the world in the near future is going to be much different than in the past. So for those of you who are experiencing that, having the divine take you down this seemingly negative emotional roller coaster with this person, they're having you replay this reel of negative things that you experience in this connection and things that you shouldn't tolerate. They're going to have you replay that, and for a little while you're going to completely almost let go of this connection. You're going to feel like this person isn't right for me, this isn't right for me, I have X amount of people interested in me who seem to have more to offer, and so I'm going to enter these connections and see where they go. Once that happens, okay, this is from my own experience, after having connected with the soulmate on the exterior, and in the beginning it seemed like it could possibly go somewhere, and then having reflected on the negative things in the twin flame connection, I'm thinking maybe the twin flame was just a spiritual catalyst to get me on the spiritual path, and maybe I'm supposed to end up with someone else. So in the beginning, it's those feelings of that. And then as time progresses, when you begin to experience those energetic influences from this person, you begin to feel their energy again very strongly from time to time. And you'll realize it's mostly at the times where you feel the most neutral, and it's like, what the why is this happening? I wanted to let go of this, I wanted to move on, and then after having experienced the energetic pull towards this person, it's always going to be there. So you're going to begin to feel that again after a while of not feeling it. And then after having connected with the soulmate for some time, you'll begin to realize that while you guys have a lot in common, there's just no spark there. And that the reason why, or part of the reason why, is because you're still tied energetically to the twin flame. And this is not the same as a karmic soul tie, because we're not in karmic energy anymore. Most of us on the twin flame journey, if you're a divine feminine, are not in karmic energy anymore. So it's not the toxicity that connects you to this person. It's nothing toxic that keeps you bonded to the twin flame. It's the divine keeping things in order and making sure that they play out the way that they're supposed to play out. So I begin to realize that I begin to reflect on all of the positive attributes that I liked in my own divine masculine that the soulmate did not possess. Okay? And not in a comparison or a negative way where I'm downing the soulmate in any way and trying to up the twin flame, because it didn't happen that way. It was a very natural feeling when it was revealed to me. There's certain things that I would never be attracted to in a man, or, you know, if they didn't possess certain qualities, I probably wouldn't be attracted to them. You know what I mean? There's certain qualities that I can't overlook or skip out on. And that's what I experienced with the soulmate. So in essence, I gained a deeper appreciation for my divine masculine. I was able to see the positive things in him after having disconnected and feeling like that person maybe wasn't right for me. Now I'm brought back to center, neutral. Kind of leaning more towards the divine masculine. Definitely feeling his energy a lot more, especially on Fridays and during the full moon cycles is when I feel his energy more intensely. But I'm going to go ahead and get into these general energies for the collective. And I hope that something here resonates with you and you can take with you to use on your own journey and your own evolution. So I pulled cards for the overall energy for the divine feminine, for how this retrograde is affecting her, and also with the full moon in Taurus. I will say that I'm channeling two collectives right now as well, so I'm going to give messages for both collectives I'm channeling right now. So for the first collective, this is the collective that is surrendering right now, and then there's a collective that's needing to learn the lesson of surrender. All right, so we have the surrender card here. So for those divine feminines, the first collective, you are in a state of surrendering right now, and you're learning an even deeper lesson of what it means to surrender. We have the blessings of the moon maiden. This is you moving in grace and in full, what am I trying to say here? You're in flow with the way things are happening. It's almost as if and you're able to do this because you have somewhat of a higher perspective of things, of the situation in general. And then we have respect here. With the Four of Swords in reverse. I'm going to get the book for this card. But I feel like the divine feminine is in this energy of flowing with things and responding to the universe and putting her intentions out there. But even when things don't turn out the way that she wanted them to, she's learning to just flow with those things because she knows that she's on the right path ultimately. And so even if things don't work out, she's realizing, or she's seeing the blessings in those things even. And she's also, because of this, she's gaining this respect for the divine order of things. She's no longer trying to go against them. And then also, and this is an energy I channeled because of this, divine feminine is setting boundaries with people right now. So even being in this state of surrender and flowing, she's not allowing others to intrude on her personal space. And she's demanding the respect that she deserves ultimately. Some divine feminines may be needing to take a time out, needing to rest. Some of you are overworked. Some of you are putting too much time and energy on things going on in your external environment. But also what I'm getting here is like it's time to put into action certain things that have been downloaded from being in the Four of Swords energy recently. I get like a strong action, like it's time to apply certain lessons now. Okay, it's time to take action on those things now. But with the respect card, it's not important how others or what others think of you. How you view yourself is what counts. You have to live with yourself and to feel proud of how you go about doing it. It says that in order to attract respect, it is vital to radiate self-respect, to show pride in your achievements, to radiate self-worth, and to adopt and mirror the favorable qualities of the people that are drawn to you rather than focusing on their negative traits. All right. And this is a similar energy to what I got with the Divine Masculine, how that self-respect starts within, and how you treat yourself or how you judge yourself is going to be projected outwardly. So if you're judging yourself very harshly or you're very insecure about certain aspects of yourself, you're going to project them outwardly onto other people. But for the Divine Feminine, what I'm getting here is because you're setting those boundaries, the reason why you're able to do that now is because you've gained this self-awareness, this self-respect. You understand that you are a divine being and you do deserve to be happy in this lifetime. You do deserve to gain or achieve the goals that you set for yourself. And then it's also, just being in this space where you're not just allowing anyone to be around you or be in your presence. You're understanding that your space is sacred. Excuse me. In that self-respect, because you're in this energy now, you're beginning to attract people who also see that within you. And then also, for the second collective, this is about, needing to set boundaries and needing to surrender the play of things to the divine. Also needing to take that time out for introspection and reconnecting with the divine with the Four of Swords here. Needing to learn how to be in the balance of things. And also not dwelling so much on the negative aspects of either yourself, the connection, or other people. All right, so for the past energy for the Divine Feminine, obviously there was a breakup here. Divine Feminine did have to let go of the connection with the Divine Masculine. And it's funny because in the past energy for the Divine Masculine, it was related to the Divine Feminine as well. So both of them are being affected by this disconnection. But for the Divine Feminine, what she's learning is how to be alone. And because she's learning how to be alone, she now has these boundaries. Again, personal protection. So she's able to use her discernment even better now. It's like her level of perception has increased and her intuition is growing stronger. And so now she's able to see things from the higher perspective. So she can no longer fall victim to toxic situations or toxic people, because she can pick up on the vibrations and energy of people without even getting too close to them. Because sometimes when we get too close, that's when it's too late. That person already has that control over us now. But she's setting those boundaries up. She's not allowing just anyone in her space. Like I said before with the respect card here, she has found her self-worth and her self-value. This Divine Feminine knows exactly who she is now. And that lesson came from ending this connection with the Divine Masculine. This ending is what brought about that lesson here for the Divine Feminine. For a lot of you, you are the one to walk away from this person. For some of you, this person did end things with you, and it allowed you this time to reflect on things in the connection that weren't really serving you anyway. And in that, you learned how to be alone. because you realize that you're never really alone, you know. And even in those lonely times when the divine puts you in timeout almost, it's to serve a purpose. It's to get reconnected with the higher self, your guides. And again, that's you not being alone. You realize that there's energies or forces working within the universe that also work with you when you call on them. And we have Enter the Jade Temple, and I get a very spiritual, esoteric vibe from this card. I've never gotten this card before, so I don't know what the book says about this card, but the energy I get from this is divine feminine entering her heart space, and coming into alignment with her soul, and then having done that, being able to attract things more in alignment with that, things that are more in balance with who she is at the core. And also, like I said, that lonely time, that time alone after having ended that connection with the divine feminine, she's gotten to use that time to connect deeply with the unseen realm, through various means. Some of you are doing a lot of meditation, maybe yoga, anything that gets you connected to the spiritual realm. And that's why her skills or her senses are being so heightened now. I'm gonna read that one. Let's see what they have to say. Kuan Yin in her Temple of Peaceful Jade causes all conflict to evaluate to higher peaceful resolution. A resolution and healing of any situation that is concerning you is already underway. In fact, you are being asked to begin to feel the relief of that resolution now, so you can more readily receive the divine solution and blessing of peace from the beloved Kuan Yin when it arrives. There are moments on the path where conflict arises and struggles emerge. These conflicts may be within us or appear to be in an external relationship or situation. This can be a part of the experience of life on the physical plane that actually helps us raise our vibration to find unity and yet still honor our individuality. All right, so yeah, I mean, this is divine feminine in the past after experiencing this ending or this heartbreak, or yeah, I mean, divine masculine at one point in the beginning of this journey was total wish fulfillment for the divine feminine. She experienced extreme happiness in this connection, and so to have that end, it was very painful. But like I said, with that happening, divine feminine learned to set boundaries for herself. She gained a new respect for herself. She discovered her self-worth and her value. She realized that she was cheapening, is that a word? Cheapening herself in order to fit into whatever mold other people were trying to fit her into. The divine masculine in particular, trying to fit his 3D level of perception of the world in some ways. Not realizing that he should raise his vibration to meet her so that he can perceive her the same way that she's perceiving herself now in her true essence, and realize her true value. With this card, I feel like all of that was illuminated or revealed to you, divine feminine, in that time. This is what Kuan Yin revealed to you. I mean, that's what happened here. You realize that you'd rather be alone than be with someone who doesn't see you for what you truly are and what you have to offer. Okay, so for the present moment, I forgot to do the second collective when I channeled for this. Some of you are experiencing this in the present moment, okay? And you're needing to learn these things now. And you're needing to connect with your higher self, whether that's through meditation, dancing, anything that's going to get you more connected to your higher self, so that you can see the higher perspective of situations and they don't break you down as much. Because Divine Feminine, prior to going within, was probably, a lot of you were very heartbroken over the situation. For a lot of us, this was the time when we were chasing. But there's many separations that happen throughout this journey. But in each separation, the Divine Feminine grows stronger in her knowing, in her awareness, in her self-worth. But I feel like this last separation is what really ignited that for her. And so if you're a part of the second collective, I feel like if you recently separated with your Divine Masculine, the message that's wanting to come forward to you is to allow things to play out, and try to get out of that chaser energy, because when you're not surrendering, you're going against, you're creating resistance, and resistance is always met with more resistance. You can't force things to be what they are. Like I said, every situation or every separation has its reason. So it's up to us to allow things to flow when we're in separation and not block what's trying to come to us from the divine. So they're wanting you to surrender things over to the higher power and not force things. You're needing to set boundaries, and with setting boundaries, it comes from knowing that, coming to this awareness that sometimes having no company is better than being in bad company. You know what I mean? And also when you're chasing the connection, it allows or it encourages the Divine Masculine, if he's overstepping boundaries, to continue doing that. It teaches him that you don't respect yourself, and thus he doesn't have to give that same respect back. You know what I mean? Let's see. For the present moment, we have genetic memory, reveal the peacock beauty, purpose with the Princess of Wands and the Nine of Swords. Okay, so for the present moment, Divine Feminine is awakening to her soul purpose. I feel like the Divine Feminine is kind of on fire right now when it comes to manifesting certain goals and achievements. And this is because there's been an awakening of her DNA, and her true essence is being revealed to her. These talents and gifts are being revealed to her. Gifts that she didn't really know that she had, because she was operating in the lower energies, and that DNA was lying dormant. She's beginning to remember the way of her ancestors. You may be having certain downloads come to you, or certain images or sounds or feelings come to you that remind you of a certain time in the past. And these things are resonating at the core level. So it's like a stroke. Like I'm looking at her fingers here. It's like a stroke on the string here. And with each stroke, something else is being activated, or a certain gift or skill is being activated or enhanced. And this is aligning the Divine Feminine with her purpose, or allowing her to work in her purpose, or manifest certain things right now. Whether that's with business, career, anything related to the Divine Feminine's purpose or mission. With the Princess of Wands and the Nine of Swords, there may be even some ideas that the Divine Feminine is worried about getting out. She may feel like certain ideas may be too far out, or they just may be too difficult to bring to fruition. It's kind of like, okay, I have all of these grand ideas, but I don't have the resources to bring them to life, or I don't have the connections, that type of energy here. Nonetheless, she's being activated with this Mercury retrograde. And I mentioned, I think, in the Divine Masculine reading, how I was getting flashbacks way back to even like my dad and my relationship with my dad, and my mom sharing certain memories with me the other day kind of ignited something within me. And so I feel like certain things are coming back to be remembered, like certain things in our childhood that we may have taken for granted or just never thought too deeply of begin to make sense to us now. And then there's also what I get here is these swords to me in this card may even represent ideas. This is the Nine of Swords, so it does represent anxiety and those sleepless nights. But the energy I'm getting in addition to that is ideas, and Divine Feminine being in this seclusion or this isolation right now in order to process certain things that she's beginning to download from above. And basically, at some point, turning them into action or acting on them with the Princess of Wands here. But it's still in the beginning stages. And for the other collective I'm channeling, this is your lesson right now, or what you should be focusing on right now is aligning with your soul's purpose, listening to what your intuition is telling you, not disregarding those messages or images or those feelings that you're getting at this time, because now is the time. And I will say this, Divine Feminine, if there's something that you've been wanting to start, whether that's a business or a book or a career path, a degree, something, whatever that is, now is the time to either write the plan out if you're not able to start it at this very moment. The best action, I'm not going to say best, but if you're able to, start that now. Start it now. Now is a good time to do that. If you're not able to start it, at least write it out. Write the plan out. Write the business plan out. Type up an essay if you're wanting to apply to a college. Type the essay out now. Just planting those seeds now, because now is the time where you're going to get the best results in the future. Of course, there will be other portals and things, but now is the time to really begin to try or take the first steps towards solidifying certain things, Divine Feminine, when it comes to your purpose or your mission. Any more messages regarding this? Your soul is wanting to shine, Divine Feminine. And they're telling you not to worry because things are going to happen in due time. But they're encouraging you to begin to taking the first steps. Even if that's just writing it down in a notebook. Writing down your goals in a notebook. If you're unable to actually begin them now, just writing the plan out or writing your intentions out and setting them out. And then also, if you're getting any negative thoughts come up, writing them out with the intention to release them. And then either burning them or crumbling up and throwing it away or tearing it apart. Whatever, to get rid of that energy, because that energy is wanting to leave you. Anything that's holding you back from creating the life that you want, or manifesting this vision that you have, or stepping fully into your purpose, write it out so it can be burned away, because it's wanting to be released right now. And the new you, or this transformation, is wanting to take place now. There is a new you wanting to be birthed right now, and they're wanting recognition. Your soul is wanting to shine, not your ego. All right. So for the future energy, we have progression, sweeping sister willow, growth, and for the tarot, we have temperance and the 5 of Swords. This is good combination of cards to see here. So I do see you overcoming whatever mental conflict you may have. Whatever was conflicting you in the past, Divine Feminine, is coming to an end, to be healed. I feel like there's this coming into balance of the feminine and masculine energies within yourself, as well as the higher and lower chakras. It's like this balancing act going on. So you're coming into union with yourself here, Divine Feminine. And then it's like once you set those seeds or plant those seeds or begin to take those steps, I feel like you're going to be catapulted into the next phase, or catapulted into your dreams almost, if you will. Sleeping Sister Willow. I've never gotten this card before, so I'm going to go ahead and read that. Sweeping Sister Willow gently brings you healing for forgiveness and release of old pain now. Let her branches gracefully sweep any sadness and pain from your heart and soul. Your time for greater inner freedom is dawning, and the cleansing sadness and healing of forgiveness is the pathway to that greater freedom now. You deserve this freedom, and you are swiftly becoming ready to gift it to yourself with the help of Kuan Yin. Forgiveness is a way to raise your vibration by shedding old energies that drain you and prevent you from having all your power available to you now. It is a chance to free yourself from suffering and empower yourself, which is basically what I was just channeling now, how I encourage you to write out those things that limit you or just aren't serving you anymore, those negative and low vibrational thoughts, feelings, emotions, beliefs, relationships, whatever it is that you're needing to burn away right now, they're wanting to be let go of. Okay, and in the near future, I do see that happening. There's going to be a huge release that's going to catapult you into the next phase. Or I'm not going to say the end point because the journey never ends, but it's going to bring you to the apex of your spiritual awakening. And there's just tremendous healing that's going to take place that brings forth this growth in the future. This is looking very, very good for you, Divine Feminine. I do see you taking active action towards realizing this healing. I don't see you sitting around weeping and feeling sorry for yourself. I do feel like you will take advantage of the releasing of these energies, and whether you realize it or not, the divine is also assisting you with healing these things that aren't serving you anymore. And for the other collective, I feel like you'll be shown the way to do this. You'll be shown the way, which will lead you or catapult you into the next phase of your journey, personal and on the twin flame journey. Bottoms of the decks, we have Dance of the Butterfly Queen, and that's about flowing in times of change and not resisting the currents, being in the state of surrender. And then Worry. I am learning that worry does not change an outcome. Yeah, I mean, Divine Feminine, obviously surrendering or learning to surrender with the energy that Mercury Retrograde is bringing in. Calmness. So, I mean, it's essentially the same message for everything. 13 is the number of transformation, and as well as 5 is the number of change. So there's definitely change occurring in the Divine Feminine's life right now that is encouraging this transformation that's taking place. But in the midst of all of that, there's a lot of energies coming in. Some of the energy coming in is bringing about confusion. There's really nothing taking place in the physical realm right now. It's all etheric, spiritual. There's things happening within the can't speak, the divine feminine, that are bringing about this transformation. Okay, and there are certain circumstances that are changing, even perceptions maybe, but the divine feminine is learning to flow with those things rather than resisting the current. Because if there's one thing we do learn on this journey, it's that no amount of effort we put into worrying about something or making something happen, it's not going to happen if it's not in alignment with what the divine has in store. And by fighting that or trying to go against that, it creates suffering. The moment we surrender, we give ourselves this sense of empowerment. Even it's ironic because we're lending the worries over to the universe, or allowing God to sort things out, but we're empowered by it. We're empowered when we do that. Interesting. All right, Divine Feminine, that has been your reading for the Mercury retrograde and Taurus full moon. Hope you guys have, or were able to take away some information from this reading that will assist you on your own personal journeys. And if you like this, I hope you click a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, whatever you feel guided to do, or nothing. And then check me out on another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.